Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Bruce is back, baby.
I'm back, baby. Sorry for missing last week.
Oh, that's okay.
I had important stuff to do.
No, we all have that.
No, I definitely wanted to be here. Oh, thanks.
Guess your fan club cheering for you.
Yeah. Here lately, we've just had a chair in your spot, and sometimes we have a shirt.
Has it been filling in?
Yeah, we put a shirt over there and talk to the shirt.
Talk to the shirt.
Talk to the hand. Well, Guru, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. And Bruce, you're doing
wonderful. Got a present in.
I know, and we'll talk about that shortly. We'll have a unveiling, something that started. Well, I don't want to say started here at the Hey Techie Show.
It started here at the Hey Techie Show.
But certainly we interviewed one of the CEOs originally.
CFO.
Well, we're not giving much.
Co-founder.
Yeah, co-founder.
Whenever I mess with this
I
gain on
think
this,
you should just leave it alone.
Yeah, that's better.
Well, welcome
should
into the Hey Techie Show, episode 145, if you're keeping track of that kind of thing.
Oh, are you keeping track?
Apparently I am.
I know I do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Sure.
And we're so glad to have everybody in. Now,
I got really close that one time.
Well, yes, you did. Right off the bat, though, I do have to do something that I promised I would do.
Oh. A little.
Come on, Gary.
My level's up too much. Sorry.
I promised.
I'm a little excited.
What
was you going to promise?
I promised I would tell my daughter happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Rachel. She's 13 today.
I will have to let Adriana know. I'm sure she will be tickled to death.
Yes, and not to
know that.
Yeah, we got her good. We got her good over the weekend. She had been wanting a phone, and of course, you know me. I was not wanting.
You were ready to buy an
I
iPhone.
was not wanting. No, she did not get an iPhone.
Oh no! Why'd you deprive that child of a decent phone?
We're Android. We're an Android family. I'm not doing that anyway.
Man,
so she did not get that, but she did not get an iPhone, Guru. Well, what I was going to tell you is what we did is though we wrapped the phone up in what would be considered a shirt box. So it looked like clothes, And my wife had bought her a little something that was clothing. And then she put inside there some candy that would shake. So my daughter was picking it up, shaking it, and she said, I know what it is.
Put in some Tic Tacs or something.
Yeah, I know what it is. And she said, it's not a phone, that's a bummer, but I know what it is. We got her so good. She opened that at Olive Garden, and she was shocked. It was
out in public. Yeah,
too, I got video of it. So happy birthday to Rachel.
Happy birthday, Rachel.
Yeah, my son, his birthday was last month. Then I've got a good friend whose birthday is today as well.
Oh.
A good friend of mine, Roger. So
I was like, are you going to say his good friend's name?
Yeah, a good friend.
I got a good friend.
His birthday is today.
You know who you are.
He's a little bit older than 13.
Just a little.
Yeah.
14.
Nah, I think he's much more than
18.
That.
20.
He's working on 60, I think. I'm not exactly sure where.
I'm working on 60.
Well, I am too. I'm working on 47.
It's a long way from it.
Well, we hope you're doing fabulous tonight. And if you want to call a show, 256-782-5600. And you can be on the Hey Techie Show. And some breaking news tonight, right? Late this afternoon, as Guru is on cue with that. Yes. Unfortunately, we had a death. A death in the high-tech world. happened apparently today. And former Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen died, age 65.
It's been backed up to the cloud in the sky.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you can look at that way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what a shame. And he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And, of course, that is a cancer, as many people know. And it's one of the more prevalent cancers, by the way. And so, anyway, my daughter is texting me. Thanks for telling me happy birthday. She's
listening to the show.
Well, she told me I had to do it right at the first. She wasn't going to listen to the whole show.
Now, Rachel, you got to listen to the whole show now since your dad did
give
you happy birthday.
You got to do it early on. I'm not listening to the whole show.
No, Rachel, you've got to stay till at 9 o'clock. Sorry.
So, yeah, sadly, Paul Allen dies. Of course, I never knew him, but used almost all the products that they've come up with, and obviously Windows. Used it pretty much all of my adult life, and Office products. So he was very influential in many people's lives all across the world as far as the things that he has helped develop. And I know that he had stepped down back in 2009 because he was originally diagnosed back then in 2009, and he decided to step down. And they thought they got it taken care of. From what I understand, he thought he'd beat it back, but apparently it made a recurrence. That's a tough deal because it gets in your lymph nodes, and it can get into things like your into your bones and that type thing. Mostly, I think this affects your lymph nodes. So anyway,
And if you're wondering why I'm being so quiet, if you're watching on YouTube, like I said earlier, I got a presence. I'm working on setting it up, so just bear with me.
You got to do so. So you got to do something on your phone.
No, well, I'm wanting to do something to my phone to see if that changes.
I
anything.
got you. Okay, I got you.
Just stay with me.
Well, anyway, we had to shut the door. We were trying to. We had to
let it warm up a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
sure. That was it. We had to shut the door in the Hey Techies studio tonight.
Well, it gets quite cool in here, and we're all wearing.
I'm wearing my jacket.
Bruce got his jacket on. I didn't come prepared.
I'm actually comfortable.
I sit right up under this thing.
I'm actually comfortable. But
back to Paul Allen. I think he partly funded Tech TV when it started, or ZDTV.
I think that does seem right. I didn't notice that in that list, but
I think he was involved.
Seems like
he was involved.
Was he really involved with ZDTV? I didn't know.
He was involved at some point, maybe not at the beginning, but at some point he was involved in Tech TV. I know, so I don't know if it was at the beginning or not.
It started ZDTV and then went Tech TV, then went G4, and that's what.
Later on.
At some point, Paul Allen was involved in Tech TV.
Later on, by Paul Allen's Vulcan Ventures. That's what it was. So yeah, absolutely. Formerly called ZDTV.
Yeah.
How I miss ZDTV.
Yeah, I know.
Back in the good old days,
man,
when television was good.
I miss Speed TV.
Yeah.
But hey,
it would be filled with reality TV.
Yes, unfortunately now
that's
you're
all.
Absolutely right. What a shame.
What did ZDTV went to Tech TV, then to G4, and then it went to what's the?
That's it. It went away.
Well, no, they changed it to.
No, G4 was already was in existence, and Comcast owned them, and then Comcast bought Tech TV and kind of merged the channels.
Yeah, they merged them, but they
went away.
They took mostly all the Tech TV programming and just rebranded it G4 and changed some names of some shows and ruined a lot of things. But no, after that it was it was basically like celebrity news. It was like another E channel but worse.
Well, but G4 closed in end of 2014.
Yeah, but they went on to change G4 into something else. Anyways, it's not important. They ruined it. That's all that matters.
Yep. Thank you, Comcast.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, they're the ones that bought them.
I know, but they couldn't keep it profitable, so they had to get rid of it. I think that's a lot. I mean, that was what I understood.
Let's make tech television great again. We may have a spot on there. Let's find somebody with a bunch
Yeah.
of money.
Well, we have one on YouTube. So.
Well, but like a full-blown channel.
Sure, but by the way, HeyTechiesShow.com.
That's right.
You can get everything Hey Techies Show at HeyTechiesShow.com.
I'm feeling a little jelly over
Sure
here.
can.
Everybody's got multiple screens but me.
You've got multiple screens.
This is for the show. This is for the audio. This has nothing to do with like.
Well, you can't count this. This is just iPad.
It does count.
Nah.
This
You may
is
not-
just my phone.
You may not. Yeah, it's quite a large phone. Excuse me. I think you got to call Bruce. You need to take your call. Hold your big phone up to your
Man, I
ear.
got bit by some kind of skeeter or something. I don't know how I got that.
Uh-oh.
By a Skeeter.
Apparently.
Another thing, this is somewhat tech related, but not, is Hurricane Michael.
Yes, I know. I apologize to everyone, and that's not meant to be jocular because it's not a jocular situation.
No, but
'cause
there's
it
a-
is serious.
There's a lot of folks suffering, and I mean, like Verizon took a huge hit on their network down there. Like people with Verizon phones are having very little, if any, coverage.
Yeah.
AT&T's network suffered less impact, I guess you could say. But what I read Verizon saying they lost some of their towers, which they can bring.
Sure.
They can bring in portable towers, but a lot of the problem is their fiber. They've had a lot of breaks in the fiber
would-
backbone. So even with bringing in assets, until that fiber is restored, they're kind of stuck.
I think there's a mosquito in here. Man, I'm already eat up, and I know it wasn't her. That's wild.
And speaking of Michael, not this Michael, but Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
Apple, among other companies, are stepping up, donating money to the relief effort.
Oh, cool. Of course.
Yeah, and there's a tweet from Tim Cook on the 10th of October, so right after it happened. He said he grew up on the shores of the Gulf Coast near Pensacola and Mobile. That region holds a special place in my heart. There's never been more true than now. To all those communities in the path of Michael, you're in my prayers. Please stay safe.
But
And Apple is standing with our friends and neighbors of the Gulf Coast region and will be donating to the recovery efforts. Then this article goes on to say there's no exact figure been given, but based on recent hurricane disasters, Apple's done at least $1 million for each one, so they kind of expect at least that much, if not more. So
okay.
you can send some iPhones down there with non-Verizon service for a while. I mean, I hate that for Verizon because, like, you know, I'm a Verizon customer. And if I was affected by some disaster and I had no cell service, that would be, you know, because you have no internet, no Wi-Fi.
Well, you know, I mean, that is bad, but I imagine that some people are probably more shaken by they have no home.
Well, I know that, but I mean,
I know you know
have,
that.
but you have no way of reaching out to loved ones.
I agree.
If you rode the storm out, because usually these storms are more impactful on the coast. So usually the people on the coast, you know, leave, but
right.
you get a few miles in, look, I'll be fine. But it may impact the punch all the way into Georgia and the Carolinas.
Well, now, right. Oh, yeah, no question.
And
And they've had
people may have been in their homes and, like, you know, hopefully they've gotten out. But, like, what do? They have home damage. They have no way to get in touch with anybody. I mean, it's just awful.
yeah, no question about it.
Our prayers are with them for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's I know a lot of people in this part of the country, you know, patronize that part of the Florida for vacations.
Now, of course, the tech side of this is how much nicer of infrastructure could they go back with? I mean, could they go ahead and start 5G
Yeah,
going back in
Sure.
instead of
they got to rebuild it anyway. I mean, Bruce has tuned us out completely.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I would say go ahead and
And
go
they,
5G.
and they may. I
if
mean,
you're going new, go ahead and put fiber.
well, they've already got the fiber. It's just got
Yeah.
to be fixed.
Might be easier to lay new fiber.
Well, it
Yeah,
may.
That's
It
a
may.
lot.
It
It's
may.
a
if
lot
it's
of
got
splicing.
breaks and stuff, that's. I mean, I'm no fiber expert. Man, is that thing going in and
I am.
out or something?
Yeah, ever since I rebooted my phone now, I got a flickering problem.
Mm.
So we will see. If you're wondering what this is that I'm playing with, if you're watching or not. So about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
we backed.
We, as in you.
Yeah, well, you know, you back us on some things. Mikey backs us on others.
That is a true statement.
So we backed.
It's been over 2 years.
Superbook.
It was we had the founder on the show back July 21st of 2016.
Episode 58.
58. We're now at 145. Wow.
Yeah.
We call that episode "Make Tech Great Again."
Yeah, but I will say this: they've been very transparent. Did we really?
Yes.
Oh.
Back when we were naming the show episodes, we haven't done
Well,
it quite
you
some-
two, when you two were.
Yeah, that's right. I
I
gotta get back on that. I got some slacking.
What was I saying? I can't even remember what I was saying now. Anyways, we backed them. Superbook, it's you basically plug your phone into it, and then you have a desktop on a portable little laptop, and you don't have a separate OS or anything like. Well, it's an application that's a separate OS, but you get to use your phone like a computer. So each time you upgrade your phone, you've upgraded your computer. So other companies have tried doing this in the past, where you docked your phone
Yeah.
in some special slot or whatever. And this just comes with, whatever USB cable you need. Whenever you order the Superbook, you can get it. And I want to say it was originally like $100 to back. I think I paid the.
What's the connector into the device? I mean, into the Superbook itself. Is it USB?
You mean for power?
No,
This
no,
is
no.
C. Yeah, USB
It's C on both ends.
Yeah, it's got a USB A and a USB C slot. And
Oh, so you just pick which one you need based on your device.
I'm sure I could plug like a thumb drive or whatever in here too, or a external hard drive, and use the File Explorer. So, there was I went ahead and updated the firmware earlier while we were outside.
That was the mistake.
Maybe, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
No, it was working fine after that. I don't know. There's since I have Oreo, there's some special thing that I need to do for I think it's for DPI. Yeah, enabling Centio desktop DPI resolution change.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
that's what I was trying to enable that. So this will be exciting. I was actually talking about this weekend and this morning, saying, I kind of expected an update already into this month, because usually they've been doing it about the first of the month. That's an update till. I mean, it's been interesting to watch them figure things out as entrepreneurs. Some of the things they've gone through have been very trying. They had one of their suppliers sell off a ton of parts after they had already paid for them.
That's right. They did it.
Yeah. Did they ever get their money back for that?
The manufacturer had to produce new parts for them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They never stated, whether they got a discount or anything like that, because they didn't deliver. I don't know. I mean, you're in China. You're kind of at their mercy, right? To an extent, I would suppose. But another thing was, during the shipments, a lot of the Chinese embargo started going on. So they were worried if they were going to get hit with a tariff on their goods. And the last shipment that came in, apparently they got it in just in time. I'm not sure if, because since stuff had already left, they may have actually been fine, but they were really worried about, hey, are we going to get this in time? So, and everything that I ordered with my book, they sent. They said they were going to send me a carbon black Superbook skin, a custom sleeve, which looks nothing like what they sent me, but they sent it to me. A universal side mount. I haven't figured out how it works yet. I mean, I kind of do. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. The charger. And they also, I chose 4 USB-C cables, and they sent me 4 of them. So I got
that's worth about $20.
Well, yeah, I guess. So I got the Kickstarter Blue 1080p with backlit keyboard. Cannot remember exactly how much.
Does it have a
paid for
notch?
this.
That's the question. Does it have a
No,
notch?
I mean it's
I'm being funny.
Honestly, it's like a little. I mean, it's like a little Chromebook, basically.
A little Chromebook
is what I would say. I mean, it's.
Thank you for modeling it to our audience
Yeah.
on YouTube, Michael. We really appreciate that.
So
give it the little wave.
You
You,
know,
gotta do like the little Vanna.
after a couple weeks, I'll
There you go.
I'll
there
get
you
to tell
go.
you if
It can be yours if the price is right.
I'll be able to tell you if it's worth it. So I'm kind of curious to see.
What are you?
I'm kind of curious to see
What are you
what
saying,
the
Mike?
current
I can't-
price on them are.
Yeah. Bruce will sign it.
Oh yeah,
A special edition signed by one of
we
the
have a
Hey
special
Techies.
limited edition Bruce signed Superbook
Yeah.
in cobalt blue. 10-inch display, 4 USB-C cables. It can be yours if the price is right.
If the price
We're going to
is
open.
right.
We're going to start the bidding. What's your bid, Michael?
$5. That's including his signature.
So,
I think you overbid. I'm gonna bid $1.
So I guess I got it actually pretty good. Retail starts at $150, and I
There
think
you
that's
go.
about what I paid. So
Well, when we come back, we'll cover more of what Hey Techies has on store for you tonight. Hey Techies Show. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The 375,000 acres that make up the 3 ranger districts of Talladega National Forest were purchased by the federal government in 1936 as part of an effort to restore clear-cut timberlands and farmlands no longer capable of producing crops. The beautiful reserve includes the 102-mile Pinhoti National Trail System and Alabama's highest and second highest points, Mount Cheaha and Duggar Mountain.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the
When a
ADA,
child
and
plays
this
with
station.
blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show Figuring Out Superbook Edition.
That's Bruce's job. We're gonna keep on talking about this
Live
stuff
on the air.
while Bruce is working on his Superbook.
Yeah. Last week, I covered a story that I thought I wanted to bring back, just to discuss for a few
We don't bring
minutes.
back. We don't bring stories
Yeah,
back.
we do.
No, we don't.
It was last week.
Don't bring it up.
And Bruce was not here, and I kind of wanted to get his 2 cents about this. Did you see
You
where?
distracting Bruce from his Superbook.
Well, I'm sorry. Did you see, Bruce, where in California they are wanting to make a law that manufactured devices cannot have easy passwords? Like they can't have admin if they're sold in California, or made in California, or sold either way. I guess that'd be all of them. I mean, everybody wants to sell their product in California.
Yeah, I do think I remember seeing something about that.
But that what they said it was going to be is that the company would have to have a unique password for each device. Each device would have to have a unique password for the admin privileges.
Could there be an or if it's sent with a default password prompt on first login?
I think we discussed that
Yeah,
too,
we
and I
did.
believe that was going to be an option as well.
So this is the thing that I'm not sure how I feel about. It is ever evolving. Bruce Schneider is to the point where he says legislation needs to happen or these things are never going to happen. But if we start legislating these things, what else can we legislate? And I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah. That is, I mean, it's a, yeah.
You know, if I can force you as a company to do this thing, granted, yes, it makes sense. It protects the consumer. I mean, I guess we have consumer protection. See, that's where I teeter-totter on this. 'Cause
Right.
It's like, you know, what if there's a case, not that I think there is one off the top of my head, but that you would need to have a simple admin password always that's locked, backdoored.
Yeah, right.
You know, really, there's no legitimate case for that, I guess. And I could be totally misspeaking in that. At least for my purposes, I can't think of one that I would ever want that.
Sure.
So, you know, but again, I don't know.
I guess
I feel like companies should be responsible and just do it.
well, yeah.
And that maybe that's the thing is that if they see, hey, this could happen, let's clean up our act or a whole lot more is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that too, but I'm wondering and I hate to bring the word constitutionality into it, but I didn't think about this last week, and you brought something to my attention that I really didn't think about, surprisingly. What about, would this be better as a federal level or the state level? I mean,
So I don't know if you're going to get right now at the federal level them to do anything to that scale. I mean, it's just like the way Texas does textbooks.
yeah.
You know, California is going to do the same with consumer protections. You know, I mean, they even do it too. You know, a lot of the products you say or a lot of the products you buy, you know, it has a tag on there that says, you know, this product contains chemicals
Yes,
that's known in the state of California to cause cancer. And I'm
Almost
like,
everything.
whew, glad I don't live in California.
Yeah. If I'm everywhere else, I'm good because we
Yeah.
don't. But in California,
But you know, I mean, I think is wacky sometimes as that state is. Granted, we are wacky, you know, in our state as well on a lot of things. You know, I think they do a lot of good things. You know, with the bad, but I don't know. This is something I can get behind, but I don't feel like I have thought about it long enough to figure out the long-term effects. And I think that is
yeah,
the
I get yeah.
that is the bigger issue behind all the stuff that's happening is what are the long-term effects of these things that we're deciding now where a lot of times, and I'm not saying everything that's done you know, with computers and RFCs and you know, a lot of the way, you know, stuff is designed, but a lot of thought goes into this stuff to say, all right, let's think of every possible scenario how this could be misconstrued or how things
Yeah.
may change in the future, that this is future proofed. And I don't think we do that with legislation, and I think that's possibly what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. That's what I was wanting
You're
to get.
welcome.
Golly. Guru, did you see this? Did you see that according to this website is NBC 15, so it's some local 15 eyeball news somewhere.
15 eyeball news.
Sure, Chicago.
15
NBC 15 eyeball news.
Eyewitness
I don't know.
News.
Yeah. Did you
News
see
Channel 15.
Headline: Suburban residents accidentally calling 911 with smartwatches, dispatchers say. And one of the things that you may not know, but the new Apple Watch, and actually I think Samsung's does it too, you can hold a button for several seconds and help will be called. the Apple Watch I know does it, and I believe the Samsung wrist units they do it as well.
I guess I've never accidentally called any emergency services with my
here's the
Apple
thing.
Watch.
Here's the thing. It says more than 500 calls to 911 come into the Lake County Sheriff's Emergency Communications Center each day, but increasingly, inadvertent calls from smartwatches and other devices are clogging up the works, they say.
Oh.
They say up to 10 people a day are accidentally contacting emergency responders.
That's not good.
Well, what's even worse, they're hanging up like they're not staying on the phone to say. Some of them are not, are realizing what they've done, and they're not staying on the phone.
Well, that just ties up their resources because they've got to follow through.
Correct, and call back
Or dispatch somebody to that location. You can't just ignore it.
And I know this was one of the things when they were talking about the possibility of this particular device being able to call based on whether you've fallen or all these other possibilities. If you have not been, if it cannot alert you or make you become alert after you are falling by the things it's going to do, vibrate.
I just hope they've got that figured out because I'd hate for it to inadvertently call when you really don't need help. Yeah. But what if the watch thinks you've fallen, but you haven't fallen?
It says.
I think that comes to mind as well.
Oh, right, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not totally part of what's going on here, but
well,
but that certainly has been a discussion.
Yeah,
no question. Now they say that on the Apple Watch app, you can go to My Watch tab.
Let's see. On the phone.
Let's see. You can open the Apple Watch app on their phones, enter the My Watch tab.
Okay, hang on, I'm getting there. Okay, My Watch is checking for. It wants to do an update. No, I don't want to do an update. That reminds me, I got something to share about iOS updates.
Okay,
later.
Emergency SOS, is that a choice?
Yes.
Turn off, hold side button.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To disable
automatic dialing, hold side button.
Yeah, you can
automatically call emergency services when you press and keep holding the side button. You may still need to specify an emergency service to dial when using emergency SOS in certain regions. Also, the emergency SOS, if you use emergency SOS, your device calls emergency services and sends your emergency contacts a message that includes your location. I forgot I had set it up because I've got family members on here. I got several family members.
There you go.
Okay.
So anyway, you can turn that off.
You can disable it. Yes, you're right. You're right.
So
but my thing is, what if I don't want to turn that off? What if I need that one day?
Well, you don't. I mean, that's fine. You don't have to turn it off.
I'm not turning mine off.
Okay, good. That's good. But you just don't hold on that button by accident.
No.
I found that if I twist my hand just right, that I can catch this button on my watch, and it won't do that.
Because an Android watch is
that's not.
It's inferior product.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rachel. You have an inferior phone for your birthday.
Actually, let me tell you something. We purchased. I'm not going to tell you where, but at a big box store online.
My apologies.
That phone is a Moto E.
Moto E.
Yeah, and it's paid for. It's a Moto E4, and it was like $70 or something. I mean, then we had to buy a case.
Well, just tell her the price of your gift.
Yeah.
Well, she's not listening now.
No, she's not listening now.
Well, because it was first released in 2015.
Oh, yeah, it's not a new, but it's good for her.
3 years old.
But it's good for her.
Plus.
Look, it does exactly what she wants to do, which is contact her friends.
And Instagram.
No,
Snapchat.
Instagram is not going on there.
What the new kids
Social network is not going on.
The kids do Instagram and Snapchat, and is WhatsApp still a thing? Is that
sure?
Still? I don't know. They don't do Facebook. That's for old folks.
Old fogies.
That's what they say.
Well, I don't think that's not the only reason they don't do Facebook. Some people just don't want to do Facebook, and
I know.
I don't blame them whatsoever. So anyway.
Well, let me say this real quick. I don't have a link for this, but I noticed this yesterday. So I had some photos on my iPhone that I was pulling off to my Mac using USB cable. So I plugged USB cable in. I used the Photos app to transfer them off. And this is kind of weird. I don't leave them in the Photos library. I actually import them with Photos. Then I export them, original and modified images, out into just files on my hard drive. And I go through and organize them in folders. And I'm kind of nerdy that way. So, I apologize. But anyway, so I was I connected my phone, first step, and iTunes started loading, which I mean that's normal behavior. It's going to load iTunes. Well, I got a message from iTunes saying that it could not sync with my device until I upgraded my OS.
Ah.
And I have the latest iTunes, I believe. It's like 18, whatever their latest version. Now my OS is not the latest OS, but
Gotcha.
But that's one thing I've never noticed in the past. Like when you plug in, it'll remind you how you've got an OS update you can apply. And I've got 12.0 on this phone, but now there's 12.0.1
Right.
that came out within like a week or so. I don't know if we mentioned it last week, but it's within a week or so. Anyway, but it would not let me sync. It basically said you cannot sync with iTunes until you upgrade your OS. So I'm kind of stuck. I can't sync my music library or anything from iTunes until I upgrade.
And the
operating
reason
system.
for not going to the next operating system?
Well, I'm just waiting.
Actually, it's
I'm
supposed
not.
to.
I'm not.
just
I'm,
'cause.
I'm not in any hurry. Except
I get that.
I've got one. There's one article we can talk about later.
the
why-
.1 fixes some stuff.
Well, it breaks other things too.
Well, that's good. That's features.
Yeah, but I don't have an article about that. But that was my observation. So, kind of. Sorry, Apple. You need to fix that. Tim Cook, I know you listening. Fix it. Thanks.
Tim Cook's
Appreciate
busy giving to hurricanes.
He's probably trying to figure out if he can. The Auburn University called and asked for a donation.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't. And this is coming from somebody who grew up as an Auburn fan. So I'm trying to be funny.
They
so.
got a contract buyout.
Yeah, that's right. He probably is trying to look in his couch to see if he's got any pocket change. Let's see. Do we have any? Yeah, maybe. I might can give a couple of million down there to pay off Gus. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Checks in the mail.
Well, what's the verdict, Brucey?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm trying to pay attention, so I'm not really able to give my full attention.
Yep, but you're holding your phone in your
either.
hand.
So I'm about to stop with this and let this fully charge.
Oh, well, that's a thought.
Yeah. So
Maybe, yeah, stop with it and maybe let it fully charge and see. Does it suggest doing that to start with?
Oh no, I was going to read through, but I'm trying to pay attention to what y'all are
Well,
saying.
you're cool.
It's like Christmas. I got new
I
toys.
get it, and we're
It's okay.
and we're fine
It's
with
Christmas morning. You're just focused on your toys.
I
That's
will say
totally
this
fine.
though, and I'm assuming that
Let me let's get a couple pictures of you.
PS4s are still going to be given out for Christmas, but allegedly, people are receiving messages and it's bricking their consoles. And the only way to do it is to restore it back to get it back up is to restore it back to factory
On
settings.
PS4s?
On PS4. So you need to change your messaging options just to be on the safe side. And I will put this in the show notes, I promise. So we will have a link for our listeners to go read. What?
No.
Oh.
Keep going.
So much like the times when I have sent Guru a message on his iPhone, causing it to crash.
Yeah, you did it one time when I was like, I was traveling and I had nobody else with me.
Oh man, I kind of feel bad for that.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
I will never let you live that one down.
True.
You've probably forgotten about it until I just said
No,
something.
I will not ever forget about that.
It was pretty
It
funny.
nearly ruined his whole life.
What if something happened and I needed
Oh, nothing had happened.
We gotta dredge this back up again.
that? Well, let me talk about something here.
But anyways, we'll put that in the
We're
show
gonna
notes.
change.
On what settings to change so you
Keep Bruce from breaking your device.
Exactly.
So did y'all hear about
Your
this?
best
So
friends from
um,
breaking your device.
Yes, sir.
This is tech related because this company has not done a great job competing against the .com. Sears Holdings
Oh, yeah.
filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy today,
Yeah.
and they're closing more stores. And the Sears in Gadsden, which is just a short drive from here, is on that closing list. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many Sears
Didn't
stores.
realize those, they were still open.
Yeah, but I didn't realize so many Sears stores are closing in the state because they said the only one that will be left open in the state of Alabama is the one at the River Chase Galleria in Hoover.
I didn't realize.
That's the only
Yeah,
only
there's
Sears
one
store
still
left.
open there.
That will be it in the whole state of Alabama.
Man.
But to try to shift to a little more positive, this is tech again. This is a tech show, obviously. But here's a report that Walmart has filed a patent for a new shopping cart.
Ooh.
So, excuse me.
See.
This is from WBRC and their local news affiliate station. A new shopping cart that helps to read a customer's heart rate, temperature, and pace may soon be headed to the nation's largest retailers. According to a report from content partner Talk Business and Politics, Walmart recently filed a patent for the shopping cart. This is a quote from that article from Talk Business and Politics. The abstract description of the invention says data is collected through sensors on the handle of the shopping cart and is transmitted in real time to a data bank in the back room. Upon analysis of data in near real time, a store employee would be notified if a shopper is experiencing an elevated pulse rate, clammy hands, or other symptoms detected in the data. And then the article goes on to say the cart would also be used to determine if a shopper is about to faint, as well as if the customer is agitated or stressed. Yeah, that'd be like everybody. That'd be everybody checkout.
The data they want.
Everybody would be up the checkout line.
Yeah, I mean, as
agitated.
soon as you
we see a lot of people agitated near the checkouts.
Maybe if you had more than 2 cashiers there.
Yeah, my wife. It took her a little while the other day going. She had to end up going in the store. I know.
Oh no,
we picked up our groceries, but we still had to go back and she had to go in the store for something else. Anyway, long story short, she said
she just told us grocery pickup people like, "Hey, go give me that for me."
It took a while. Yeah, it took a little while, but there was like three. There's 3 cashiers, and she likes to go through there because she says it keeps somebody in a job. That's how she views it. So that's her view.
That's the way I view. Granted, they have to have somebody there to watch 5 or 6 cash registers.
Yeah.
So, but going back to this article, there's been some customers have expressed concerns to Talk Business and Politics about privacy issues.
It is a concern,
including healthcare questions. Another person, a Gen X shopper, told the Talk Business and Politics that she would not use the cart, and her quote was, "No, just let me shop. I get enough unsolicited advice elsewhere.
I want to shop until I drop, and I don't want you to know about it."
Yep. So there you go.
Well, let's look at this a different way. What would be some important things that they could patent that would actually people would want in a shopping cart? I mean, seriously.
Well, they could track your they could track like your shopping pattern through the store.
It's all about gathering data.
No, I understand what it's about.
And
that's all I'm getting.
Let's say you stop at a certain part and you're agitated because they're like out of whatever you were wanting on your shopping.
Or you can't find it. You think this product should be here,
and you're pacing back and forth down the aisle looking. It's like, I know this should be here. That's happened to me before, and it's like, well, you just lost my business. I'm going elsewhere.
But what would the cart do? Tell you where it's at? Well, I'm just trying to figure.
Well, they probably know where you're at in the store.
No, I get that. I just don't see. I just don't see the there with this.
Oh.
I don't see what gathering data, but they're already getting that. Because you got. Let me finish. You want that money back? You got to use that app.
Well, it's like the free Wi-Fi in the store.
Just don't get money back.
It's free Wi-Fi.
I don't do free.
But I guarantee you they're monitoring what you're doing.
I don't do free. Well, they should. I mean, it's their Wi-Fi. They have every right to.
Yeah.
They pay for it. Huh?
I mean, I agree with that.
Look.
They should be transparent about it, though.
Well, I agree. I don't do free Wi-Fi, but that's just me. I've stated that how many 100 times. You
pay for your Wi-Fi, by golly.
The only free Wi-Fi I do is the one I know who runs it. And that's mine at home, and then it's not free. I don't do free Wi-Fi.
When I need Wi-Fi, I pay for it. It's at home.
Yeah. But and here at the university, but it's not free. I mean, it is paid for. It's some nice stuff. So a lot of security's gone into that. It's not no joke. It is.
Absolutely.
It isn't the stuff right off the shelf at Walmart, and we've talked about that before. But seriously,
go buy the Linksys router.
I'm sure. but that had been discussed one time, actually. This is so much cheaper at Walmart. I can't believe it.
We're paying hundreds of dollars for these things.
Well, thousands. But seriously, though, Walmart, when you think about it, I mean, I don't see what the sale's going to be. I don't see why. I don't see why anybody's rushing to use these cards. People just like this lady said, perfect. I want to just shop and get gone.
But what if that's the only? It's either that card or no card.
Well, there's got to be.
Or they'll hide it in the shopping cart and you won't know it's there.
But here's the thing.
Get it from Amazon.
Here's the thing. I'm already ditching the cart for the most part, 99% of the time, for months now.
Well,
we have ditched the cart.
Well, they know what you're buying though.
I'm beginning to think I'm going to need to go back in there so I can remember how to push the cart. Seriously.
One
Oh,
foot,
yeah, that's a
one
good
foot.
point.
in
I mean,
front of the
you
other.
never know.
Hey,
I mean, I might be getting
Michael.
confused.
one hand on the left side, one hand on the right side, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, well, you never
You
know.
know,
I mean,
if you feel like lost, just step,
Hey.
lead off with the left foot.
while it's going, while I'm in there, I might have to watch a YouTube video on how to do it. You never know. I'm on their free Wi-Fi.
That's right.
The Hey Techies Show will be right back. Call us. You can be on the show. Hey Techies Show.
Welcome back in to the Hey Techies Show. We're sitting here having a discussion about this bumper, and those of you who listen to podcasts, like, we don't hear the songs. So sorry.
And YouTube either. Sorry about
Sorry.
that.
We
just
have to,
cannot do that.
Yeah,
So.
sorry. You have to listen on WLJS.
That's right, or online.
Yeah. JSU.edu/radio.
That's
Wait, we
correct.
don't put that into the podcast?
No,
we put
you
out?
No.
How many times have we discussed
We
this?
can do that in a podcast.
You
It's not
cannot.
on YouTube.
No, you can't.
Oh, bull butter.
You can't do it in a podcast.
Bull butter.
You can't.
So in case you're
Says
listening,
who?
excuse me, in case you're
Says the
listening,
recording industry of America. If
They
you want,
kiss my behind.
if you want some, no, they'll let you do that.
They can kiss
They'll let
mine.
you kiss theirs,
No, they can kiss
and
mine.
they'll take money at the same time.
Tay-Tay's on my side.
no, but that for those of you listening live on WLJS, that was Weezer covering Africa, which is originally by Toto.
Yeah,
I heard that Weezer version this week. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
good.
that's a good.
they did do a good job.
Yeah, so I said, we'll put that on. It's a
And what
bumper.
was funny about that is, let me tell you a backstory real quick. Oh, we got time. So my wife's like, Weezer. And I said, you know who Weezer is.
Yeah.
You got to remember them from a long time ago because they had that song that they did in Buddy Holly. I said, you had to remember the Buddy Holly song that Weezer did. And so she couldn't place it, and I finally played it for her. She said, oh, yeah. Yeah. Because what's funny about that song, the video is shot in the Happy Days.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was on the Windows 95 CD.
Yeah. Really?
That shows how nerdy I am. Yeah.
Buddy Holly. Dun, dun,
But yeah,
more. Yeah.
yes, I remember Weezer. I grew up with Weezer.
I know some people who wheeze, but
No, but
They're
like
Weezer.
I'm wheezing right
but
now.
Weezer,
Bless your
Weezer
heart.
was
Sinuses are
they were
killing me.
popular when I was younger.
They've always been
Bruce
popular.
figured out what was up with this Superbook, so he did get it working.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just needed to do a soft reboot because I had turned on USD bugging on my phone because I was trying to do
And it
something
goofed it
else.
up.
Well, when the
It goofed
problem
it up.
when the problem's acute, you must reboot.
That's right.
That's right.
So this will have to be dumped over in our DOS. But
Oh
I thought I
man,
would-
it is already time.
Yeah.
I've been playing on that thing for that long.
Well, we've been.
I've
doing
been
it.
halfway paying attention to both things.
Let's see. This is from TechSpot, and apparently, the headline is this: analyst still believes Microsoft will kill the Surface line next year. I don't know if you guys read that.
I don't think
No,
that's
no.
good.
I don't agree with this either.
I disagree. This
That is their
Well-
bread and butter right now.
well. Here's the
Sure
thing:
isn't Windows.
the person that said this is Steve Brazier, and he is
Brazing a new path.
Yeah, let's see. He's a CEO of analyst company Canalys, I think is how you pronounce that. And he said this actually back about a year ago, more than a year ago.
He said in a year.
October 2017. He said it would happen in 2019. Here's the problem. Here's a couple of problems I see with it. And I don't know if he was just – I assume he was basing it off numbers back then or looking at it back then. But did you guys know that the Surface line has jumped 25%? And sales have been up 16% year over year.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing.
It is doing
and they
very
got
well.
it's got Microsoft up to the top 5 PC vendor.
Yeah,
now.
I think
Yeah.
Andrew's at least responsible for 4% of that.
It's a possibility JSUs are responsible for a good percentage. It's possible.
Well, I've said this on the show many times. I like their hardware.
Yeah,
and I mean, proof in the pudding. Like, I purchased a Surface Book too,
Now, if they would do something about their software,
and I'm looking at purchasing. Hopefully they're not. Hopefully my nephews aren't listening to this show, but I'm looking at purchasing Surface Go for my nephews, potentially for upcoming gifts. Please hope you're not listening.
yeah,
Pray you're not
$390.
listening.
Starting price at $399 for those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's a good price point. And I think my nephews are at an age where they need a full blown computer. An iPad doesn't cut it, in my opinion. So it's a full Windows computer.
What were you going to say, Bruce?
I was gonna say I'm gonna have I've got a teaser for our dose.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
About Project Stream.
Oh yeah. I think we covered that the other day.
Well,
when you were here, we mentioned a little bit.
I had sent out for an invite.
Right. Oh, that's
and
right.
Google granted it.
Oh,
to me.
there we go.
So I'm an early insider, and I'll have some feedback
okay,
on
and
it.
a review.
Yeah,
coming
a
up.
little bit of a review. So
Okay,
that
right
should
here on the
be
show.
Right here on the show.
That's right. And our
Right here.
dose.
And our doses. Stay tuned if you're interested about Project Stream.
Well,
That's all I'm going to say about that for now.
let me
without
just.
giving it away.
I hate to say I would be shocked that Microsoft would do something like this or could do something like this eventually. And actually, I'll have to say this. For Brazier's, in defense of him just a little bit, I kind of understand a little bit about where he's coming from. And one reason I do is because he is making the comparison that their services portion of their Microsoft has taken off so much that his point is they could make their profit just on their services alone and not be putting a lot of investment into a hardware product that, while this one's making it, may or may not make it.
Yeah.
So I do understand that concept because he's talking about with AWS. Shoot. Azure. Pardon me. That was
I
Azure.
was about to say.
That was
Did
Amazon.
I miss something
I
there?
apologize.
Yeah, that's okay.
Azure, and then of course the Office online products that they're actually doing really well on. So I can understand the thought process, but I just don't. We'll see. I'd be shocked. I don't think it'll be coming.
I'll say this about Microsoft. This is again my opinion about them. Like in terms of their services, Azure. I don't know much about Azure. I mean, I know it's cloud computing and all that good fun stuff, but like their productivity software, Office and Outlook and Exchange for email and all that, that's just been a what do you call it? Man, I had the term on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. It's been very commonplace. That's not the term I was going to use, but it's been a powerhouse in business for years. But now businesses are reevaluating infrastructure and do we want to actually maintain email on-prem or something we can farm out, or small businesses that I don't want to get into email business, but I want these nice productivity tools for my team. So I think Microsoft done a very good job with pushing that stuff out to the cloud. I think, and it's been well received by business.
Sure.
I mean, you can look at the sales. I mean, it's selling.
It's without question.
Yeah, and then they're doing a really good job, I think, with their hardware. And this is coming from a person who uses Macs, and I do like their. If I had to buy a PC today, I've got one obviously, but if I was to buy one today and didn't have one, I would still buy a Microsoft device. I think they have the more superior portable computer. Now, if I needed something like a workstation or something, I may get a different vendor, but like these portable devices, I like my Surface Book, and I want to try out the Surface Go to see if it's how good it is. I haven't had a chance to put my hands on one yet, but I will soon. But I think Microsoft's got it going on right now. The Windows 10, you can debate about all their stuff and numerous updates and all that mess, but I mean, from their hardware and their services, they got it. They got it going on, and I hope they continue innovating because I mean it's good for everybody, whether you use Microsoft devices or products or not.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion. I'm going on here. This
I will say that, and I think I've already said, but I will stipulate again that I think this is an extreme stepping out on a limb here. I just think this is just a prediction by somebody who wants to predict something. Like people do in rumors, they say things that don't necessarily come true
to get attention in the news.
Yeah, it could very well be
on part of the news cycle. I mean, I get it.
And then maybe he might be right. I mean, maybe. And the last thing of this, I don't put Microsoft in some kind of hierarchy where they will never drop a product. I have Zooms at home. I know they'll drop a product,
but
even if it's profitable, sometimes they'll drop a product.
The Zooms weren't selling that good.
No, but I understand all that. I'm not comparing that to this. But I am saying that look, there are people that they had a market with a Windows phone. Where is it at?
They were the problem was they were late to market and they were not getting.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but my point is they will drop that product.
But listen, with the Windows Phone, the problem with them, they were very late to market.
Agreed.
Yeah, they did have some market share. Granted, they had Andrew and
Yeah.
4 other people maybe. I'm
I had a buddy that swore by them.
But they did
Well,
have
the people who
they had a
loved them-
market, but they weren't selling enough to justify the investment.
Yeah.
In that product line, they had to sell some at least to break even in R&D.
Yeah,
and they
I
weren't.
agree.
So I mean, it was a business decision.
As I say, you just never know.
But I think Microsoft is getting their act together with what they're good at with desktop, portable, Windows centric.
They'll just do the same with the OS.
Yeah, so true. Our dose coming up next.
You've listened this long, so stick around for Our Dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen has died at age 65 from complications of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. As NPR's Martin Costi explains, the tech billionaire helped define personal computers and the look of his hometown.
In those early photos of Bill Gates and Paul Allen, it's the bearded Allen who looks like the grown-up. Starting in the 70s, the two childhood friends parlayed their computer hobby into the world's most important software company, providing the DOS that ran IBM's and other PC clones. Illness forced Allen to cede control of the company to Gates, but his Microsoft shares made him a billionaire, and in the succeeding decades he became a major influence here in Seattle, as owner of the local football team and as a real estate baron. Allen spent millions on brain research and causes such as Ebola, but also on memorabilia of his youthful enthusiasms, science fiction and rock and roll. Martin Costi, NPR News, Seattle.
President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump surveyed hurricane damage in Florida and Georgia today in the wake of Hurricane Michael. The Trumps flew over some of the most heavily damaged areas in a helicopter. At Robins Air Force Base in Georgia, the president praised FEMA Director Brock Long for the job his agency's been doing.
I want to just commend you on the job you're doing. We just left Florida, and they're so thrilled with what's happened with our people, our talent. But they're not thrilled about this hurricane because this was brutal. They haven't seen anything like it. And possibly there hasn't been anything like it. The wind's almost 200 miles an hour, just wiped houses away.
Florida Panhandle took a direct hit last week from the hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles an hour. Hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses in Florida and Georgia are without power. At least 17 people died in the storm. The Supreme Court is refusing to hear an appeal brought by 3 major paint manufacturers found liable in the lower courts for selling and advertising lead-based paint. NPR's Nina Totenberg reports.
10 California jurisdictions, including Los Angeles and San Francisco, sued the companies, contending that the manufacturers knew as early as the 1920s that lead-based paint caused brain injury, especially in children. The companies were ordered to remove the paint in all homes built before 1951. They appealed to the Supreme Court with broad support from the business community, and the case was viewed as likely to get another look from the business-friendly Supreme Court majority. But in a sign that the battered court is trying to keep its head down, at least for now, the justices declined to review the case, leaving the judgment in place. Nina Totenberg, NPR News, Washington.
Spending by consumers was up only slightly in September, despite rebounding auto sales. The Commerce Department says the scant gain in September followed an equally meager 0.1% increase in August. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 89 points. The Nasdaq was down 66 points. This is NPR.
Technologic.
Fix it, crash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, hurt it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip.
It's a politician, Bruce. That's what I'm saying. Politicians.
Oh, we are already apparently.
Welcome into the Hey Techie Show hour.
Dose.
Guru, Guru jumped right in there and turned my mic on.
Yeah, and you thought, like, oh, he's not going to be ready.
Yeah.
See, the moment I need to turn this off. It's still playing. But we were getting ready like the last 10 seconds of NPR, and I was like, oh crap, I left my water bottle out there at the water fountain. I went to fill it up when I used the restroom, and as soon as I started playing the hour dose music, I ran out there, even filled it up.
Yeah, wow, got it just in time.
And I was hearing it, and I was like, okay, it's getting to the point we got to bring it in. So I ran in here, and boom.
Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, people, if you're joining us tonight, Bruce mentioned about Project Stream.
Yes.
He was going to sign up for a Project Stream invite. And
so for those who don't know, what is Project Stream, Bruce?
So there has been attempts in the past to offer, I guess, virtual machines for you to game on, so you don't always have to keep your rig super up to date.
Okay.
And Google, I'll be honest, I haven't kept up with a lot of their labs and stuff lately. I did years ago, kept up with every little thing they were doing, and got invited to every little thing that I could. And I just happened to come across, that Project Stream was taking invites, and it was invitation only, and it kind of gave some things. You don't need a great computer to play it, but they were going to be doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, was the game you're going to get to play for free when you were invited to this service. So got my invite at the end of last week, I think it was. I actually didn't see it until the weekend and was like, I need to check my email. And just happened to see it in there, so there's no telling when I got it actually. But I thought, well, hey, this would be great to try it on the weekend. Because I probably wouldn't have been able to try it during the week. So I sat down on the weekend, tried to play it. And whenever you sign in, the first thing it's going to do is check your internet connection to make sure that at least your internet connection meets the bare minimum, which is 20 megs, to be able to play this. And at home, I'm on 110 meg connection. So, of course, it was like, yep, you're good. It was unplayable. Like, it would freeze it was like every 3 or 4 seconds, and then I would hear a bunch of noise, and then it's like it'd catch up. So latency was really bad, and I was like, man, this is terrible.
But you have good internet connection. I
do. So, and it's definitely not the hardware specs on my machine either, because I could play it natively on that machine. So I thought, well, all right, well, let me try and open my browser in incognito mode. That way none of my plugins are running.
Right.
And I'll just sign in that way and try that.
Yeah.
Same thing. And I had discounted it. Well, I decided to try on this Surface Book, here to see, let's maybe because of the weekend, maybe that's what it was. Everybody was on the service. Was totally perfect. So, I'm not sure if they got some feedback and devoted some more hardware to it. I haven't read any stories yet to see, but it was definitely a much better experience. It was just like I was playing on a regular computer. It was great. So if Google can perfect that, especially with the ease of just being able from Chrome just to log in and launch whatever game it is that you want to play, Steam, you better be doing something to catch up, because I could see how even with Google it could be subscription based and you would just have a huge library that you could choose from. I think maybe that's the way they're going. I could be wrong, but if you told me pay $10 a month and you can play, pretty much any game that's out there, I would be all for that. Maybe, and I can see too if they're like, well, we're hosting the big part of the hardware, $15 a month. I could see even paying $15 a month. So I don't know. They gave me some credit for in-game money. Haven't used it. Oh, let me turn my volume off.
In-game money.
Yeah, they gave me some credits, some Shriek bucks. They're not Shriek bucks.
So what would you buy in-game?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Is it something like Fortnite?
Played for where you would, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm
where
sure I
you
could
would
buy
outfits or some kind of armor or.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's
that's about how much I know of Fortnite, because the kids my daughter came I need some money on the PlayStation account, so I can.
You told her absolutely not.
Yeah, she gave me she had.
She gave you the cash.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's a saver. My daughter is a banker. I mean, she could be a banker. She could loan money. That's what she saves and figures out a way to spend everybody else's. So she's good at that. She's super good at that. But when she wants something, she has money to spend. So anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for that update, because I know we had covered it, and I was hoping you were going to get an invite.
Yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Plus, and since it's a Ubisoft game, you had to have an Ubisoft account.
What?
Ubisoft. It's a.
Oh yeah. Ubisoft.
So, Ubisoft. So I'm curious, and this is good until my access ends January 15th. So I'm curious to see.
January 15th.
Yep, I'm curious to see, what is going to happen after that. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's something they're trying out, I guess, and if it goes well, they'll probably.
Well, hey, that was nice of them to give you through Christmas.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
your
nice.
break. I mean, they figure people. I mean, I would be curious to see during holidays how difficult it is to play on it. Now that would be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
We'll keep you posted. If you are interested in that at all, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Bruce will let us know if it was difficult to use during the holidays.
I will say this: the times that I will be able to play will probably times that most people are playing.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So
and I totally
that
understand.
is my availability.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious what the next thing is going to be after that. So,
yeah.
Apparently there's already people doing some deep dives, some videos on that. So, but it's it's basically game streaming technology. So, it will be interesting.
Games as a service.
I mean, they've been there's companies been trying to do it for a while.
Sure.
Some more successful than others.
Wonder how much this would cost.
Yeah, I don't know. Did I not say that on the air?
You did.
Okay. I can't remember what we've talked about. Fair and what we've talked about.
No, you did. You said you were thinking, if it was $10 a month,
maybe
the $9.95 price range.
Yeah,
that would be very attractive if it was that.
Yeah.
I'm going with 15. I'm going to start out
for
with
what
15.
it is. I'm going to say 15.
I'm saying 20.
I don't know if I can do $20 a month.
It's just there's a lot. It's a lot of stuff behind the scenes to get this to work. That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, wait a minute! I got a plan. Why don't you do this? Why don't you set a really low price at first, and then change it higher, and then figure out that didn't work, and change it back low, and then adjust it some more later on, and then change how you can use it and when you can use it. That seems familiar. Movie Pass, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess they're still going.
It might go the way. No, I thought they were done.
Oh, Movie Pass is done?
I don't know. Let's look that up.
I figured they were still going. I figured that they would just try to milk the train one way or the other. Milk the cow.
Their website's still up. Oh. Welcome to the future of movie going. Only $9.95 a month.
Oh, there you go.
See plans.
Up to 3 times a month.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
of ones we choose.
Enjoy 3 movies a month. Yeah. It's on us.
It's on us.
For $9.95 a month.
Still can't figure it out.
Watch it 91% of movie theaters in the U.S.
Well, we live in that 9%.
Hey, they're building a new one over in Pell City.
That's what I've heard.
Are they? Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's huge.
Where's it at in Pell City? Is it right there on the interstate?
Just off of it.
I hadn't been through there in a while, so.
It's
I'm sorry, I just caught it. Yeah, it's right on the interstate. You have to. It's a new tunnel. You drive right through it, and you can pull in the parking lot.
Right off the interstate. Pardon me.
This is what we do here at the Hey Techies Show. If you want to know,
I get ridiculed all the time by these two guys.
Oh man!
Oh please.
Well, let me.
I'm just surprised I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Andrew Ware.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
As I said, yeah.
Let's go to break before we save us. Somebody save us PSAs, please.
Yes.
Was that it?
That was it. Hey Techies Show. Be right back. That was it.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Alabama legacy moment.
Birmingham native Erskine Hawkins was a prominent African-American trumpeter, bandleader, and composer during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s. His Erskine Hawkins Orchestra was a popular dance band in New York City, and with it he recorded the hit Tuxedo Junction, about a streetcar intersection on the Ensley-Fairfield line that was a center of nightlife for African Americans. Hawkins is a member of the Alabama Music and the Alabama Jazz Halls of Fame.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show, where I'm stumping Michael with my bumper song selections.
What's the name of that band? I know it, and it's on the tip of my tongue.
It's Maroon 5.
Maroon, that's it.
With Sugar.
Sugar.
That's what the song's called, Sugar by Maroon 5.
Okay. All right. Maroon 5. Yeah.
I would sing it for you, but I don't want to scare off our listeners.
Oh, come on.
I'm not a good soloist.
No?
I can sing along and harmonize with the best of them, but not, no. I'll stay in behind the scenes. Yeah, Bruce went somewhere. That's okay. Yeah, well, Michael's trying to get me to stall, and I'm not good at talking just to myself, but I'm going to try my best. Anyway.
No, I thought you said you had a story.
I do. I do. I was waiting on you. So
go right ahead.
You know, we talked about iOS 12, and there's some water here. That's that bad? No, just kidding. You know, iOS 12's been out a couple weeks now, and they've got a dot release now, which I haven't installed on my device
I have
yet.
on mine,
but,
yes.
You know, one of the big things with iOS 12, we've saw it too, it's just a lot faster. You know, done a lot of performance improvements. They've done some feature enhancements, obviously, but one of them they quietly introduced was, and they left it off their official features list according to this article from Forbes. It's a feature where it's a unified thread for iMessage contacts who have multiple phone numbers and emails. So basically, try to find this real quick. So like if let's say you had the same contact had multiple phone numbers,
yes,
or a phone number and email, it would unify that message on iMessage to where I'm not sending it to Michael's iPhone, which maybe one day he'll have one, but
don't hold your breath.
I'll send it to Michael's iPhone. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'll send it to Michael's iPhone. But if you had a email address registered to your iPad and it was on the same contact on my device, and it was registered through the iCloud stuff, it was it would go to both devices.
Okay.
But it would also on my device it'd be a unified thread between different phone numbers and contacts. That's how I got it. Anyway, that was the feature enhancement. We're using air quotes here.
So,
and according to this Forbes article, the theory was solid. A friend or family member with multiple numbers and/or devices will now find all messages to them exist neatly on a single thread.
Yeah.
The problem is that iOS 12's implementation of this feature is merging threads with different contacts, thereby creating potentially embarrassing situations where your message can go to several people unintentionally.
Contact gate.
Yeah, contact gate. So
merging contact gate.
A quote from one affected user says, "Without question, this issue began when I upgraded to iOS 12. The issue has been devastating and needs to be resolved ASAP. I depend on iMessage and can no longer trust/depend on the tool to send messages to the proper person. In the same way, I cannot be sure from whom texts are actually being sent." Another person, there's several quotes. I got this off of some online message board thing, probably Apple support communities if I was willing to bet. One commonality that somebody spotted out is that affected users have a shared Apple ID between members of their family. This would indicate that Apple is now merging iMessage threads based solely on Apple ID and ignoring names, emails, and phone numbers. That said, even if this were the less than helpful approach, others are reporting the issue when the recipients don't share an ID. So
yeah.
Consequently, the only way to get the bottom of this is for Apple to be upfront about it. This is the article I'm reading from. To get upfront about the changes is made silently to iMessage and how to fix it. Yeah, and so if you hadn't upgraded iOS 12, probably don't need to, but no, everybody's upgraded. So I mean, and here's what's funny. I sent a text message to a friend I don't talk to that often, and I need to ask him something. And the other day I sent him a message, and I'm trying to think how I have their contact in my phone. Let me look real quick because I meant to check this before I got on the air.
So,
but go ahead.
So if you had two different contacts or multiple different contacts, somehow it ties those multiple contacts together, and they could see or receive the same message that you sent contact number 1. Contact 3 and 4 might get the same message.
Yeah, that's what the complaint is.
I get it.
I mean, the intent of the unified thread was,
unify over one contact, different contacts.
So if Michael had an iPhone and an iPad with an Apple ID,
right,
I would send a message to Michael.
Right.
And that thread, depending on no matter what device it went to or originated from, would be one thread in iMessage.
Correct. If it was an SMS or if it was a
iMessage or yeah. But the problem is there's some issues where Apple's not done a good job at figuring this out, so it's sending messages to people that's not intended.
I wonder how it's tying them together. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What would be the commonality of different contacts? How that would be quite a coding error.
And many affected users, like I just read, said that users that have a shared Apple ID between members of their family have been seeing this. So,
well, now that would make sense.
So if you and your wife had one Apple ID used between all your devices,
just don't have your mistress send anything. I mean, that's the big thing.
But they also said that even others are reporting the issue when recipients don't share an ID. So that's kind of weird. How is that getting misdirected when you're not sharing an Apple ID? I don't know.
It's the Russians.
But it's iMessage Gate.
But
here's the thing.
Contact Gate.
Contact Gate. Yeah, that sounds better than iMessage Gate.
No, that's all I can either way.
Contact Gate.
Contact Gate. Apple Care Contact Gate. Gate.
Apple iMessage Gate. I don't know. Anyway.
Gate.
But here's the thing. On an Apple device, to do MMS, SMS, you have to use iMessage, and it knows when you type in somebody's phone number or whatever, it figures out, does this person have an iPhone? And if it does, it by default is going to send it through iMessage.
I don't think I like that feature, just in general, because it sounds like so much could go wrong with it. I mean, when you're wanting to send somebody a message, you're wanting to send it to a particular number.
Right.
You don't necessarily want to email them or rather want to use, you might want to send it SMS for some reason.
This is what's funny. You said email. So like I was saying before a minute ago when we were talking,
right,
is I sent one of my friends a text message the other day. I had something I wanted to share with them, and I don't talk to him this ever so often. And I hadn't talked to him since I put iOS 12 on my device, and I can't find that message anymore. But anyway, so I typed it on my phone like I always do. Well, the response I got back was nicely formatted with like a paragraph and a line break. I was like, this don't seem like this came from somebody typing on their phone. So probably they had some sort of email account tied to maybe
and
another.
it went to their email account.
It went to their email account, or maybe on their iPad that was tied to that email account. So they responded on some. They responded on some other device, more just their phone.
Yeah,
you know, and I just looked and verified the only contact I have for them on my contact in my account is their phone number.
Okay.
I don't have an email or anything inside of here.
Yeah,
in my iMessage. So I intended to send it to their cell phone, but they must have received it on a different device and responded in such.
Well,
that's my assumption. So there you go. We have ContactGate, Apple ContactGate, Applegate. Just call it Applegate. It's yet another Apple issue.
Just an initial search of contact merge iOS 12. There is a forum back in July of some people saying that they had iMessage has merged two conversations of two different contacts. In one of their, and they were using iOS 12 beta 3.
I was gonna say they were on a beta release.
There you go.
So I'm wondering now that we look at it, this could be something that's been in even the beta releases. Apparently, some kind of thing that's been in the background.
Well, that was a feature.
Apple's not listening to their beta testers.
Well, apparently someone. This is actually a forums.developer.apple thread, so people have been complaining about this before.
Apple's
back to July.
That's not a bug. That's a feature.
You're using it wrong.
You're holding the phone wrong. If you hold it this way, it won't do that.
Oh, okay. I tell you, a person responded, and it just generally, I know this might be boring to some, but it turns out it was an issue with two people sharing an Apple ID, which would make sense. But others are talking about having the same issue. So anyway, this is something that has been maybe in the beta release for some time. And maybe it's just come to the light of day with mass usage. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So some folks are not happy about it.
Well, not a shock.
Well, Apple customers are the most vocal customers because they expect it to be right. And I mean, it goes back to, I don't want to even bring it up again, about how they're just releasing. It's like they're letting their customers test their software. And I mean, not beta testers, but like real customers that don't beta test. But I think we've talked about Microsoft doing this. I mean, it's just, we might as well get used to it. But I do want to give some credit to this article. Our friend Austin from A Concept,
that's been on the show.
He's been on the show before, I think, several times.
Yeah.
He shared this on Twitter, and so I want to give him credit. He's probably listening, so thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much. We do appreciate that. And hopefully Bruce will have something to offer the show.
I've got something
I'm
else.
just kidding.
Superbook.
He's just joking.
He's still messing with that Superbook. So.
No, that's cool. I don't blame him. Before you bring that up, before the show started in our green room, I brought up to Bruce, had he seen about police being told to avoid looking at a iPhone that they were basically confiscating, I guess would be one way of putting it. You know, an iPhone that they would like to get access to. Now they're being told to do not look at it. They avoid looking at it because if they look at it too much, it's going to do the same thing as rebooting it. It's going to lock them out. Or if you put in your passcode too many times, it's going to lock them out. And they're saying law enforcement may have to train on how to not look at the iPhone before they can
look at it
before,
from like
hold on, before
angle.
they can force the user of the product to look at it. So that, of course, now the question is, in some places I think that has stood up in court, and in some places it's not standing up in court. So
about the looking at it,
yes, forcing it.
Yeah,
it's going to be a questionable thing. Well, you know, I mean, for the most part, from what I understanding is you can't be forced to put your PIN in. That has been held up time after time.
And I would argue the fingerprint, which I need to follow up on that case, and maybe we talked about this.
We
last
have
week?
talked about it. No, it wasn't last week
or week.
We've
before
talked
last.
about it some weeks ago, probably.
They can force me to, I guess, give me my fingerprint, but they can't force me to tell them which finger.
No, you've mentioned that many times. Which finger? Yeah, and if you do it, yeah. But I think I was talking about it on the show. Now Bruce says, and I understand this. One option, if you and look, this is not me, but I want to make sure that you understand that I'm not talking about nefarious things. I don't do nefarious things, but I do understand that there might be some legitimate reasons to protect yourself. I believe that you do have rights, as we all do here in the United States, and you should know those rights, and you should protect yourself because, you know, maybe you don't have anything incriminating on your phone, okay? Maybe you don't think you do. That's the problem. You might not think you do, but what rights do we have in protecting what we have? That's the thing you need to look at. So, you know, rebooting your phone before you drive somewhere, I mean, that's an option because you're going to have to put your PIN in, no matter facial recognition or even fingerprint. Most all the phones now, you'll have to put a PIN in. So, therefore, you can't be forced to do that by law. The other thing would be, as Bruce mentioned in the green room, is rebooting your phone if you're pulled over. Now, the problem with that is, here's the problem with that. I don't want to disagree with you, but in some states, especially in Atlanta, over in Georgia, if they see you with that in your hand, they're going to assume you were driving with it or could assume that you were driving with it. And well,
but if I'm parked,
I got it, but now you have your phone in your hand.
I'd say, well, officer, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a slippery slope.
I was pulling up my insurance information.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not on your phone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could, but then you get
There's a lot of people that
I agree, but then you're giving access to them.
Well,
I mean, that's
you could say I do not give you access. I give you.
Yeah.
You can look at this, but you may not take it.
Well, it's like I saw an article this past week, kind of along the lines, is like in Alabama, if you renew your driver's license through their app,
yes,
you can do that. I think not every other time, like once every 8 years, you can do it that way, where you don't have to go in for your picture and all that.
Right.
And by doing it that way, you get it where you can actually add your driver's license to your Apple Wallet.
Okay. Yeah, we've heard it. I think we've talked
about it.
But
again, there's some things like it to show it to law enforcement, you're giving them access to your device. You know, and
well, you know, look,
but you do get convenience there because you always have it on your device. So,
look, here's the truth of the matter: most people are never going to have an issue with this. They're going to.
Right.
Most people, let's be honest, most people are never going to have their phone searched like that. Most people get pulled over for traffic violations. I mean, that's the reality of it. I'm not saying that there aren't situations where other things happen, but you do need to protect yourself because human nature is human nature, and things that man creates are not infallible. So, you know, if you don't feel like you've done anything wrong, you need to use all of your rights to protect yourself for sure. And I guess in some people that have done things wrong, they have a right to defend. So,
well, they have a right to remain silent.
They do. That's right. And you have a right to not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
which is mostly what we're talking about here anyway. But it's a slippery slope, and it's one that's not going away. This is going to be in the courts. This is going to be.
It's going to get more and more complicated, and you're going to see one state rule one way and set precedent another one, and it's just going to keep going until it's all the way up. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Just like this, no hands on your phone. Whether or not you have your phone talking on it, speaking on it, in different states now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I occasionally have to drive.
Do you ever
rental
forget?
Cars? Not that I forget, but I find it very difficult, especially when I'm in a rental car that doesn't have the features my car has, to be truly hands-free. I'm like, well, I kind of need to touch my phone.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
It's like if you're in a rental car and it doesn't have like a GPS in the head unit, and you use GPS on your device, but how do you, if you don't have nothing with you to put it up on the dash usually, or do you?
No, I normally don't, which I'm looking at changing, but I was trying to decide if I'm going to get a different phone first before I buy a case and stuff because I found a really nice case that, they've got a little thing that you can put the vents or whatever, and it's just magnetic. You just pop it up
that's
there.
nice. Yep. Well, they may sell it for iPhone too.
Probably. If I go that route.
Oh, what'd I do that for? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I meant to play something else. It's not break time yet.
No, but it's rumors time.
Yeah, it is rumors. That's what I meant to play.
I don't have any, but Guru does. So listen to his rumors.
I got to figure out how to make this restart this song.
You'll figure it.
I think I see how to do it. Okay. Yes, it's not break time, it's rumor time. You don't have any, Michael?
I'm like Bruce. I might could start one or two.
So Apple registers new iPad models and Bluetooth device in quotes in China.
Okay.
So Apple in late September registered new iPad models and a new Bluetooth device with China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, which hints at an imminent release for the new iPad Pro models and perhaps a new Apple Pencil. According to My Smart Price, Apple registered iPad model numbers A1876, A1890, A1980, and A1993, which correspond to previous iPad registrations, which we saw Apple file in July with the Eurasian Economic Commission. And there's an iPad Pro mock-up by somebody here. It's just it looks like a big iPhone 10 without a notch, with no home button on the front, no Touch ID. We've talked about this on the show already.
Do you think they'll eventually get rid of the notch?
Well, if they can on the phone, if they could figure out how to get all that stuff be behind the screen, they would. But this one's got a thicker bezel than a phone, obviously, because it's a tablet. But it's got the same.
But if you're gonna have, but that's still gonna be in the way. You've got to have some little hole or something for the camera and audio to be able to talk. Listen,
it'll be magic.
No, I know it'll be magic. Everything is
pixie dust and magic.
Sure, pixie dust. Sure.
So
everything iPhone, by the way.
So all these filings with these different countries shows that we've talked about this on the show about new stuff's coming still before the holiday shopping season. An iPad Pro definitely makes sense for the holiday shopping season, and hopefully a new Mac Mini. Fingers crossed is decent enough, because that's what I'm waiting on. And also, along with that, there was another article with the iPad Pro saying that it could be 5.9 millimeters thick with no headphone jack. This iPad Pro.
What?
So Apple's upcoming iPad Pro could be one of the thinnest devices yet, measuring at just 5.9 millimeters thick.
The iPad Pro.
iPad Pro. Based on details shared by a leaker on Twitter who previously provided accurate details on the iPhone XS and XR ahead of launch. According to Twitter user CoinCoin, don't you want that handle, CoinCoin?
Oh, yes.
The upcoming
desperately.
iPad Pro will measure just 5.9 millimeters, and due to the thinness, there will be no room for Apple to include a headphone jack.
Of course. I mean, why have that? I mean, you've been so brave.
Yeah, that's a brave move. So that's one they'll probably won't include the little dongle anymore either. You have to pay $10 for that.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway, so there's that one. Those two with the iPad, and then this is our friend Ming Chi Kuo, Apple analyst, and
we have a friend.
Well, he's quoted. He's sourced quite often in Mac Rumors with all this stuff, and he's been quite accurate too.
Yeah.
Over time. So according to him, he says Apple is to maintain the same iPhone mix in 2019 with a 5.8, 6.5-inch OLED phones and a 6.1-inch LCD phone. So in a note to investors about Apple supplier Luxshare predicted market share release this morning, Kuo included a chart that suggests Apple will continue to offer 5.8 and 6.5-inch OLED phones in 2019, along with a 6.1-inch LCD model. That's the same lineup used this year, which consisted of the 5.8, 6.5. Well, same thing I just said. So anyway, we've talked about some of these rumors in the past about the 2019 phones, but it looks like the lineup will just be probably feature enhancements in the A13 chip.
Yes.
A13 Super Bionic.
Yes. Bruce, I didn't get to ask you about any of the Google products the other day.
You know, I have not been able to really look at much of them. I
don't think the Pixel
was really waiting for a Pixel Watch.
Yeah, no
and
Pixel
was.
I really don't think the Pixel 3 is as bad as people thought. I think it's got some cool features. I'd like to have one.
What about it? I guess do you like?
Well, one thing, they brought back one of the features that I like. I'm not going to buy the thing just for this. But
what was the feature?
The face down, it silences the phone. That was a Moto X feature that I had.
Oh,
that I loved.
yeah, we've talked about that.
I can't do that on this phone. Loved that feature. Used it all the time.
I bet you it's coming to this phone.
It might, but they maybe. They didn't say, because I already have the latest OS.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might be soon.
It could be a feature update.
I turned that. Is it do not disturb or?
Yeah, I mean, you can do other things. I'm not saying.
I would still want mine to vibrate because as you can see, like that is my go-to. If I need to pay attention,
no, I get
that's how my phone goes.
I get it. I totally understand, and I know that seems like, oh, Michael, that's no big deal. You wouldn't pay for that kind of fee. Probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't pay the money that they would want, but there are many are saying that the camera is very good.
Expect the camera to be better. I mean, it's been a year, right?
I know, but I don't know. I've seen some pictures. It looks like to me, that they did a lot of work as far as low light. The low light is better, much better. Well, I mean, it was good, but it's much better.
I'll say because I use Google Photos, the editing that's done there and just the auto enhancing and stuff like that's been great.
Yeah.
Because this weekend, I took some pictures that was in a difficult lighting, especially for a smartphone camera.
Right.
And just, let
that's
Google auto enhance, and it did a great job.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
Maybe during the break.
Cool. But yeah, I saw a little bit of the event, and we didn't talk much about it last week because they had the Pixel whatever thing they called it. It was so non-eventful.
Kind of the Pixel Home is what it was.
No. It was their new device, their tablet. It was like, I've done forgot. I mean, it was so amazing. I've already forgot what it's called. The Slice. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Well, I mean,
I should know.
I would say it seems like a lot of what they came out with was following what Amazon's already done.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the home and things like that?
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in that.
I'm not excited. And I'm really starting to, I'm starting to lose interest in Google, just in general, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm interested in the phone. I can't swing one right now, but I sure would like to.
I think we can get a $400 credit for our
I think
phones.
it can.
$400.
Yeah, but still, it's $500 a
It
per
is-
phone.
yeah, it's
I don't
it's
know.
ridiculous.
I may wait another year.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Harper Lee is best known as the author of one of the most affecting and widely read books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. The native Alabamian drew deeply from her coming-of-age years in her small hometown of Monroeville. The film version of To Kill a Mockingbird underscored the success of the novel with its own success.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Ruby Pickens Tart was one of the foremost chroniclers of folklore.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show.
Really going to be interested tomorrow. I'm going to put the Superbook through the ringer and see
Okay.
what it does. I was able to, at some point earlier,
Yes.
I was able to start a VPN
You
and
did?
RDP into a desktop. And,
Okay.
There we go.
I would like to figure out how to get the little taskbar that Centio has to disappear.
Okay.
And let me have a full desktop
Right.
experience. So, it's pretty neat. It'll be, I mean,
If it works out.
it's lightweight, right?
Yes. If it works out, it'll be like upgrading your device every time you got a different phone.
Except
that's the
I'm
theory.
stuck with a 1080p screen.
Well, yeah, stuck with a
Until
1080p.
Bruce
Yeah.
gets an iPhone, and then it does no longer work.
No, I think those work with
Really?
iPhones. Yeah,
That'd be surprising.
Yep.
I thought I saw there was some app that you could use. I think that the same app maybe.
I don't know if they have Centio but I know they were originally during the Kickstarter. I mean, they were putting iPads.
That's true. They were.
They're putting everything. They're using it as like a second monitor because I mean that's essentially
that's
what
right.
it is.
I
It's-
remember
it's-
that.
It's basically a monitor
Correct, right.
extension. Now it has its own OS and stuff built in. Some of the drivers and stuff that it's doing.
Right.
It's I would think on that part it's probably pretty simple. So
Yeah.
very lightweight.
We were speaking earlier, actually the first of our Uno earlier tonight. And by the way, if you missed anything, you can go to HeyTechiesShow.com and find all of our past episodes there, and this one will be hopefully posted tonight if all things go well. But we were talking about 5G, and I have an article from WHNT.com and up in Huntsville, Alabama, and they are in plans for broadband 5G internet service. This article says cell phone service around Huntsville is about to get a boost. This week, city leaders said okay to bringing 5G internet speeds to town.
And what phones can actually do 5G at this point?
That is a good question. I don't know, but I think they're more interested in maybe Verizon's product, where they're allowing you to use internet with 5G. I think they're more talking about some kind of device that would allow you to use internet through 5G. Like, for instance, they said on Thursday, Huntsville city leaders approved a group known as Unity Fiber, I think is what it's called.
I wonder if it's supposed to be Unify.
It's UNITI.
I wonder if that's a typo.
I don't know. Fiber to set up 5G internet speed could be in the city, because I've never heard of that. But that's not saying much. They said right now the problem with limited broadband is that when you have thousands of people in a small area pull out their phones, that pulls a massive amount of data. Well, duh. That's usually how it works. Also, they go on to say autonomous vehicles will require it, and all of that possible through 5G speeds. Well, that's a possibility too there. AT&T, Verizon, as we talked about before, announced this year they will be moving forward with 5G networks. So they predict that Huntsville will be moving ahead, hopefully soon. Let's see. Fiber plans to install around. They did it twice, so they must have mistyped it twice if it is a mistype. Unity with an I. UNIT or Unit I. I don't know how they're pronouncing it. Fiber plans to install around 10 of the small cells by the end of this year. So
I'm gonna have to look this up. You know, our friend and listener Ted,
yes,
was in Talladega this weekend. He was not at the races, but that was an instance when the networks were crowded because he said, yeah, internet did not exist on his phone.
That's a real company with an I.
Unity Fiber.
Unity Fiber.
I'm sure it's Unity.
It might be.
They used to bring in those extra cellular on wheels for those events at Talladega.
Yeah, you would think they would have.
I guess
maybe you can make phone calls and text. You just can't.
Maybe the attendance has dropped to a point where they just, or maybe it could Hurricane Michael. They shifted all those assets south.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, that I would say that takes precedence.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree there too.
I wonder where their services are available at.
They have a map on their website, I just noticed.
Tower sites. This is interesting. I have not heard of this company. Wow, they have a good bit.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe Huntsville will be coming in with that later this year, and those in Huntsville will be able to see what the 5G speeds would be like. On devices, obviously, that support 5G, that's going to be one of the issues, as Bruce pointed out.
That gives the Latin Lounge of the
not
sure if that they need to be shown on it.
Oh, well, there you go.
And a phone number.
Guru, you got something else for a quick overclock?
Yeah, real quick. We're almost out of time.
Yeah,
here.
I know.
So
running.
Apple's filed a patent that could help get rid of robocalls. Which, I mean, I know if anybody's like me, I get at least one a day. But this patent was filed in April 2017, was made public on Thursday, and describes a system that would let the phone do checks on a call to see whether the call is legitimate or if it's from a spoof number. The mobile device checks parameters using templates to evaluate a consistency of the invitation with respect to a database in the mobile device. The abstract of the patent reads. It goes on to say the templates include session protocol, network topography, routing, and social templates. So basically, this goes on, and we don't have really time to talk about it much, but Apple has filed a patent, and maybe they'll figure out how to kill robocalls, and then everybody will have an iPhone then. They sure won't share that with the
I will
Android
tell you
folks.
what, I get more and more every day.
Oh, I do too.
I just don't even answer my phone. If you're not a contact and you don't leave a message.
I was about to say, it's sometimes, unless I know I'm expecting a call. I
no
usually
joke,
don't.
at least 3 a day.
By the way, voice dictation is coming to Microsoft Office on the web. So that'd be interesting.
Oh, the Pixel Buds. I do want to talk about
the
those.
Pixel Buds.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about them next
Hey
time.
Techie Show next week.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.